Hello students, your goal today is to watch this video carefully and to take notes on the provided Google document to get a general understanding about the geography of ancient Egypt. When you are finished watching this video, you will be creating a map about what you have learned. Egypt is located on the continent of Africa. It is in the northeastern corner of the continent. It is situated at the meeting point of Africa and Asia. Egypt is bordered by the Mediterranean Sea to the north, while the Red Sea borders Egypt to the east.
The Nile is the longest river in the world, flowing more than 4,000 miles through Africa to the Mediterranean Sea. Every summer, the Nile floods because of heavy rainfall in Central Africa. When the floods recede, they leave behind silt, a layer of rich topsoil that transforms the otherwise barren desert into fertile farmland. It was along this river, and because of it, that Egyptian civilization rose and flourished some 5,000 years ago. The Nile was Egypt's most precious resource, but Egyptians had to cooperate to make it work for them.
Egypt is called the gift of the Nile because without the Nile, Egypt would have remained a desert. The Nile brought water and fine, fertile silt to the deserts in Egypt. The Nile River extends across the entire length of the country from north to south. It begins in the mountains of Africa and empties into the Mediterranean Sea. Ancient Egypt had four main divisions of its land, the first two being the Upper and Lower Egypt. It may seem odd that the Upper Egypt consists of the narrow strip of land located south of the delta. Lower Egypt contains the Nile River Delta, which is made by the river as it empties into the Mediterranean Sea. The ancient Egyptians thought of Egypt as being divided into two types of land, the Black Land and the Red Land. The Black Land was the fertile land on the banks of the Nile. Ancient Egyptians used this land for growing their crops. This was the only land in ancient Egypt that could be farmed because of a layer of rich black silt that was deposited there every year after the Nile flooded. The Red Land was the barren desert that protected Egypt on two sides. These deserts separated ancient Egypt from neighboring countries and invading armies. They also provided the ancient Egyptians with the source for precious metals and semi-precious stones. Most of Egypt is desert. To the east of the Nile River is the smaller Eastern Desert. West of the Nile is the Western Desert. The Western Desert is part of the Sahara Desert, which makes up most of northern Africa. Egypt is surrounded by natural barriers: the deserts, mountains, and Mediterranean Sea. These barriers provided protection to the Egyptian people. That is the end of this video. You may rewind the video as much as needed to make sure that all of your notes are completed. Don't forget to turn in your completed notes and map in Google Classroom.